Good evening, all my little bun buns. Daisy here with you tonight, and we're gonna have another thoughts video. And well, since my last thought was about Iron Man, I figured why not just keep down that track and go further down this iron hole. And for that, we're going to lead into, don't follow the box in this shot, Iron Man 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's not Electric Boogaloo. I just added that. But as you can see, I have the Blu-ray copy with the DVD as well. And we'll start off with, yes, I like this movie. Potential spoiler alerts, though, in case you haven't watched it yet. So there's your free heads up beforehand. So this would be the second of the three directly just Iron Man films, not the Avenger films, not the Captain America films that involved him, not any other films that he just happens to be in, like Spider-Man. This is just the second Iron Man film. Now, some things happened. First off, our James Rhodes from the first movie is not the same man anymore. At first, I was very put off by this concept. We had a guy that looked like a James Rhodes in the first movie. The replacement, I don't feel quite as much looks like the comic book versions of James Rhodes, but I'm willing to change up, especially finding out some of the potential actor issues that were going on, and I'm okay with the change up. So we'll put that out there. Initially, it's a little put off. Overall, though, I'm okay with this. In the end, he did do a good job as James Rhodes from there out. So we have Tony Stark, who is starting to get some kind of chest rot from the fact that he's had palladium in his chest from that mini arc reactor for the last however long it's been since we started this process. And he broke out of the cave. And he's being a little bit more stupid for a bit. We do have a lot of interesting things that happen. We have a Russian guy who's kind of Blacklash, kind of another character. I don't remember which one. But he uses electric whips powered by an arc reactor as his initial and final form. We do get a good setup with Justin Hammer, which in a lot of the comics and stuff was kind of like Tony Stark's, opposite. Also weapons designer, also did stuff for the government. Kind of bad. Depending on what comic you're reading, he may have been really bad, but kind of hidden. So we have him involved here, which is not a bad thing. The actor they picked for him, I felt, was initially kind of young compared to any way I've seen Justin Hammer before, but he played the part very well. So I am going to excuse that 100% on the young part and say he played the snobby jerk, the dorky guy, so well. We end up in Italy at a Formula One race. Tony Stark takes charge of the Formula One car that he apparently sponsors and drives it because why not? We end up having another Iron Man suit popped out, the suitcase suit, which I found really cool and just it was a good way to change things up and kind of do a shout out to some of the earlier variants of Iron Man on different media. I remember the cartoon I watched as a teenager. His suit was kind of a suitcase that he just kind of plonked into and transformed into a suit. So this harkened back to that, and I liked that. I liked the shout out to past things. And the fact that it did look pretty darn awesome as he put it on. It didn't seem to have anywhere near as many weapons as the version 3 he was using initially in the first movie. But it was portable and was pretty awesome. So there's that. He ends up beating up the Russian guy, Ivan Vankov, whatever his name was, and gets him sent to prison. Yay! Then Justin Hammer breaks him out and is trying to use him to help make armor suits kind of like Iron Man to sell to the government because money. This doesn't work out too well. Bad things happen. Tony Stark's going slowly crazier because of his disease thing he has going on. Rhodes steals the silver version of the Iron Man suit from the first movie and gets away with it. It gets armamented up by Justin Hammer, who's currently the liaison from the government to army type sales weapons thing. And they install his software, which is a major plot point because Ivan Vanko quickly had hacked Justin Hammer's software whenever he was brought into his factory. So now we have War Machine, which has software by Justin Hammer, hacked by Vanko. And we have an army of robot-y suits that are drones, not armors, that are now all controlled by Ivan Vanko. Tony Stark invents some new element that he's able to use to replace the palladium in his arc reactor's chest. So he fixes that problem, makes a fourth armor, goes out and helps save the world from Vanko's drone army, plus under control War Machine, who can't do anything about what he's doing, as James Rhodes is stuck inside said shell. Thanks to our first introduction of Black Widow and Happy, the bodyguard, they are able to break into Hammer's facility, take control, and free James Rhodes from the effective imprisonment in his own self, so he has control over his armor again. Also, we get to see Ivan Vanko create himself yet another setup, this time a full body armor similar to an Iron Man type suit, this time with big honking whips again, and a better arc reactor apparently inside. Yay! Good for him! They have a good big final battle, both with War Machine and Iron Man fighting against Vanko together, kind of as an actual partnership. This was pretty good. And they, of course, win. Vanko blows up, as well as do all the drones, trying to kill everyone. Fortunately, everyone gets away, including they rescue Pepper. Now, to some of the nitty-gritty, I again felt the combat was realistic enough. Obviously, this is cartoon-esque, as in these things don't really exist. We don't have electro whips attached to a man. But the way they worked them felt juicy. It felt right. Initially, he was able to use them to cut a Formula One racer in two, which was pretty darn cool. At one point, Tony had grabbed the whip, was wrapping around his Iron Man arm and around his body. And you could see the damage that was going on to his armor as he was wrapping himself up in this effectively corrosive object. But it made sense. It looked like the correct amount of damage he should have been getting from what was going on. Every time something looked like it should have been damaged, it was damaged. There were consequences for the actions. this was really good. Definitely loved how that turned out. I liked the villain. I was a little annoyed by the stewing Tony Stark during this one, the brooding, grumpy, self-destructive Tony Stark. Though, yes, it is comically sound, it was less fun. And the fact that he spent most of the time being kind of at odds with James Rhodes, kind of not as fun. I felt we spent too much time with that. We should have had more time with them being friends again. But it made a movie. Overall, the movie was really good. All the Iron Man suits that were involved, really, really well done. Their equipment, their weapons, really, really was fun. Everything they did felt crunchy and juicy enough that it made you feel like you were there. And they felt realistic enough. And all the environments were really nice. I liked the World's Fair type environment they created. I loved so much of this movie. It was really, really good. So in general, it was a really bang up film. It's not as good as the first one, but sometimes it's hard to have lightning strike twice exactly the same way. But I would definitely put it right up there in quality form because, end of the day, pick up the right thing. This was a darn good movie. Great actors, great parts, great plot. Overall, had a good time. It's definitely one of the ones that's fun to rewatch because there's a lot of eye candy and it's easy to put in and just have on while I'm playing a video game. So, I recommend it. Like pretty much everything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it is available on Disney Plus. So feel free to enjoy it if you so have that product. If not, disc is probably still pretty cheap. It's kind of old now, so it should be easy to pick up if you want to grab it off of Amazon or something. Yay. Anyway, did you watch this one? Did you like it or hate it? Let me know in the comments, good, bad, or otherwise. I'm always curious. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little dingly bell for the little dingly bell. Let you know when I post new videos. And my Patreon link and my Ko-fi link are in the description box below, which are two good ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. Both do help. Either way, every penny does help support the channel and help me make better videos for you, my loving public. Not required. I do this for free. I'm not going to lock anything behind a paywall, but I appreciate everything that's given. It does help and make my day better. More importantly, though, I appreciate absolutely every view. That is the most important part to me. So every view does make this little bunny smile. I promise it is really a thing. So if you want to share this video with friends or watch it more times with yourself, please do so. Makes me really happy. But for now, thank you for spending some time with my Bud Bunny self, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the next video. So for now, stay pink, stay fluffy, stay a little feathery, and I'll see you all again very soon.